There's something different about people who grew up in the 1970s, because this decade didn't just shape a generation, it forged a specific type of psychological resilience that experts are only now beginning to understand. Let's start with something most people get completely wrong. When we think about childhood development, we assume more supervision equals better outcomes, more structure, more guidance, more protection. But the 1970s kids, they proved that theory dead wrong. Think about it. You're 7 years old and your mom sends you outside after breakfast with one simple instruction: be home before dark. No GPS tracking, no hourly check-ins, no structured activities planned by adults. Just you, your neighborhood friends, and the freedom to make your own choices. You'd spend entire afternoons building forts in the woods, creating elaborate games with nothing but sticks and imagination, settling disputes with friends without a single adult stepping in. When someone got hurt, you figured out how to handle it. When you got bored with one game, you invented another. When conflicts erupted, you worked it out yourselves because there was no one else to do it for you. This hands-off approach wasn't abandonment, it was trust, and neuroscientists have discovered something extraordinary. This kind of unstructured play literally rewires the brain for creativity and problem-solving. It builds what's called executive function, the ability to plan, adapt, and think critically without external guidance. Picture a summer day in 1975. You wake up, eat breakfast, and your mom says those magic words: go play. Be back when the streetlights come on. That's it. No where you going, no who will you be with, no cell phone to check in. You grab your bike and you're gone for the next 10 hours. You might ride 3 miles to the park. You might explore construction sites. You might play in the creek. You might climb that massive oak tree everyone talks about. Your parents have absolutely no idea where you are, and that's completely normal. This level of physical freedom is unthinkable today. But for 1970s kids, this was childhood, and it did something profound to their brains. No adult is there to say, be careful or that's too dangerous. You assess it yourself. You test the branches, you climb higher, you learn through direct physical experience where the safe limit is. Sometimes you fall, you scrape your knee, you learn. This created what psychologists call calibrated risk assessment. You developed an internal sense of danger based on real consequences, not imagined fears or adult warnings. Modern children are told everything is dangerous. Don't climb that, don't run there, stay where I can see you. Result? They grow up either terrified of everything or reckless because they never learned real consequences. 1970s kids learned the difference between real danger and manageable risk through experience. They learned to trust their own judgment, and as adults, this translates to career risk-taking, physical confidence, decision-making without constant external validation, and comfort with uncertainty. You weren't reckless, you were calibrated, because you learned through experience, not through warnings. The TV switches to sports or news. You turn it off. And now what? No tablets, no smartphones, no internet, no video games yet, or maybe you have Pong with 2 games total. You're bored. Deeply, profoundly bored. You go to your mom, I'm bored. She doesn't look up from her magazine. Go find something to do. That's it. No suggestions, no structured activities. Just you and that restless feeling of having nothing to do. So what happens? You create something. You go outside and dig a hole for hours, just digging. Or you create an entire imaginary world with your toys. Or you take apart your dad's old radio to see how it works. Or you read the same book for the 3rd time. Or you just lie on your back in the grass and watch clouds. This wasn't killing time. This was your brain entering what neuroscientists call the default mode network, a state where creativity flourishes. When you're bored, your brain starts making new connections, solving problems, generating ideas. Modern children never experience this. The instant they're unstimulated, they reach for a device. Their brains never enter that creative, wandering state. That boredom taught them something crucial. You don't need external stimulation to be okay. You can generate your own entertainment, your own ideas, your own fun. This created adults who can sit in silence without anxiety, work on long-term projects without constant dopamine hits, and be alone with their thoughts without panic. These are superpowers in the age of infinite digital distraction. Let me tell you about making plans in 1976. You want to meet your friend at the park tomorrow, so you call their house on the rotary phone. Meet at the park at 2 p.m. Okay, see you there. That's it. No confirmation text at 1:45. No, where are you? No GPS coordinates. You said 2 p.m. at the park, so you show up at 2 p.m. at the park. Except your friend isn't there. Maybe they forgot. Maybe their parents made them do something else. Maybe they went to a different park. So you wait 20 minutes, then you ride to their house. They're not home. You ride to the other park. There they are, playing basketball with other kids. Hey, I thought we were meeting at Elm Park. Oh man, I thought you meant Oak Park. You have two choices. Get mad and ride home alone, or let it go and join the game. You join the game because staying mad means you wasted an hour of bike riding for nothing. This was social navigation without digital training wheels. No texting to avoid confrontation, no ghosting, no passive-aggressive anything. Just face-to-face, real-time human interaction with all its messiness. You had to read people, actually read them, not their text tone, but their actual faces, their body language, their vocal inflections. Your friend says, "I'm fine," but their arms are crossed and they won't look at you. You know they're not fine. You see it right there in front of you. You either address it or let it go, but you can't misread it. You have a fight with your best friend, a real fight, but you can't just block them. You see them at school Monday. You have to face them. You have to work it out or let the friendship end. No middle ground. This created extraordinary social intelligence. Studies show that people who develop the social skills primarily through in-person interaction have significantly higher empathy scores and better conflict resolution skills than those who learned through digital communication. This created adults who are comfortable with in-person interaction, better at reading rooms, stronger at navigating complex social dynamics, and more skilled at building genuine relationships because they learned social intelligence in the real world, not a digital simulation. It's 1978. You're doing a book report on whales. You need information, so you go to the library after school. You walk to the card catalog, those wooden drawers filled with index cards. You look up whales. You write down call numbers. You find 3 books. You check them out. You carry them home. You read them. You take notes by hand. You synthesize the information. You write your report on notebook paper. Total time invested, 5 to 7 hours. Compare that to today. Type whales into Google. Copy information from Wikipedia. Use AI to write the report. Total time, 20 minutes. But here's what happened in those 5 to 7 hours. Your brain was actively processing, synthesizing, creating connections. You weren't just consuming information passively. You were learning it. This created what neuroscientists call desirable difficulties, obstacles that make learning harder but retention stronger. 1970s kids developed research skills, critical thinking, and information synthesis that many modern students never acquire. They learned to evaluate sources because they had to. When you had to work for knowledge, you remembered it. You appreciated it. You didn't scroll past it in 3 seconds. Modern brains are wired for shallow processing. Scroll, glance, move on. Consume 1,000 pieces of information per day. Retain almost none. 1970s brains, they learned in a world where you couldn't instantly fact-check everything, so you had to think critically about what you were told. You developed internal judgment, and that skill, that ability to process information deeply and evaluate it critically, remains hardwired decades later. Little League, 1979. You struck out. Your team loses the championship. You walk off the field. Your dad is waiting. You expect comfort, reassurance. He says, "Tough break, kiddo. You'll get him next year." That's it. No, the umpire made bad calls. No, that pitcher was throwing illegal pitches. No, you're still a winner to me. Just, you struck out. That's baseball. Try again next season. You go home. You feel terrible. You replay it in your mind. Nobody rushes to make you feel better. You sit with that failure. You process it. You eventually accept it. And next season, you practice more. You get better. Or take school. You get your spelling test back. Big red F at the top. 12 out of 20. Your mom sees it. What happened? I don't know. I thought I studied. Well, you didn't study enough. No TV this week. Study harder for the next one. No negotiation with the teacher. No, my child deserves a better grade. No grade inflation. Just, you failed. Face the consequence. Do better next time. This was the failure curriculum of the 1970s. No safety nets, no participation trophies. They didn't exist yet. No constant reassurance that you're special regardless of performance. Just reality. Sometimes you fail. Feel bad about it. Learn from it. Try again. And this created something extraordinary. Resilience. The ability to experience failure and bounce back. Modern children are protected from failure. Everyone gets a trophy. Grades are inflated. Parents intervene with teachers. Feelings are protected at all costs. Result: many modern adults crumble at the first sign of failure. 1970s adults are different. They learned early that failure is temporary. Failure is feedback, not identity. Failure is part of learning.
That failure is temporary. Failure is feedback, not identity. Failure is part of learning.
And you can survive disappointment. Getting back up matters more than never falling. This shows up everywhere in their adult lives. The failure curriculum wasn't cruel. It was preparation for a world where you won't always win. Here's something hard to explain to anyone born after 1990. In the 1970s, your life was private. Unless you told someone something, they didn't know it. No social media, no GPS tracking, no digital footprints, no cameras everywhere. Your business was your business. No social media posts, no comment section, no permanent digital record of your lowest moments. Just you, privately processing. This was the default in the 1970s. Privacy wasn't something you had to fight for. It was automatic. Your location was private unless you told someone where you were going. Your activities were private unless someone saw you. Your thoughts were private unless you spoke them out loud. This created fundamentally different psychology around privacy and identity. Modern kids grow up with public as default, private as exception. Everything is shared unless you actively hide it. Parents track them, schools track them, apps track them. Life is curated for an audience. 1970s kids grew up with private as default, public as exception. And as adults, they value privacy intensely. Don't overshare on social media, are selective about what they post, feel uncomfortable with constant surveillance, and believe strongly in personal boundaries. They remember a time when you could disappear for hours without anyone panicking, when no one knew where you were unless you told them, and when mistakes weren't permanent digital records. That memory shapes how they move through the world today. Modern parents look at 1970s childhoods and see neglect, but 1970s kids see something else: trust. Their parents trusted them to ride bikes across town, trusted them to solve their own problems, trusted them to come home when the streetlights came on, trusted them to be bored and figure out what to do, trusted them to fail and get back up. And that trust created something powerful, self-trust. These individuals carry within them something increasingly rare in our hyper-connected, over-supervised world. A quiet confidence that comes from childhood freedom. They're living proof that maybe, just maybe, we've overcomplicated the whole business of raising resilient human beings. That sometimes the best gift you can give someone isn't protection from struggle.
The 1980s were the last great decade. Fight me. We had the best music, the best movies, the best TV. We had freedom without smartphones tracking our every move. We had real relationships without social media destroying them. We had fun without worrying about everything being recorded and posted online. And before you say, "Okay, boomer," hear me out. Because I'm not talking about nostalgia. I'm talking about facts. There are 15 specific things we had in the 1980s that were objectively, measurably better than what we have today. We lost something special when the 80s ended. Let's do this. Number 15. MTV actually played music. In the 1980s, MTV was revolutionary. It changed music forever. And I mean actual music videos, 24 hours a day. Michael Jackson, Madonna, Prince, Duran Duran, Aha's Take on Me. Every single song had a video. And here's the thing, it connected music to visual art in a way that had never been done before. You didn't just hear the song, you experienced it. Sure, we have YouTube and TikTok, but it's not the same. There's no curated experience, no VJs introducing videos, no event quality. When Michael Jackson premiered Thriller, everyone watched together. Number 14. Movies didn't need CGI to be amazing. The 1980s produced some of the greatest movies ever made, and they did it without computers. The Empire Strikes Back, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Ghostbusters, Back to the Future, The Terminator, Die Hard. Practical effects, real sets, real stunts, real performances, and they hold up better than most modern movies. The Stay Puft Marshmallow Man in Ghostbusters? A guy in a suit destroying a miniature New York. The Millennium Falcon? An actual model they filmed. Directors had to be creative. They had to make it work with what they had. And that limitation produced better movies. Today, everything is CGI. Green screens everywhere. Actors standing in empty rooms reacting to nothing. And sure, Marvel movies make billions. But will people watch them in 40 years?
Will people watch them in 40 years?
Like we still watch Back to the Future? Doubt it. 80s movies were real. They felt real. They were better. And you can't change my mind.
There was a huge trough built in Paramount Studios, and the water was filmed as it was sent rushing down it. And of course, the film was reversed to create the opening of the sea.
God opens the sea with the blast of his nostrils. Lead them through the midst of the waters. His will be done.
Saturday morning cartoons weren't just TV shows. They were a ritual. You woke up early, you poured a massive bowl of sugary cereal, and you watched 3 straight hours of cartoons. Transformers, G.I. Joe, He-Man, Thundercats, DuckTales, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And here's what made it special. You had to watch them then. If you missed it, it was gone. No DVR, no streaming, no second chances. This created shared culture. Every kid in America watched the same shows at the same time. On Monday, everyone talked about what happened on Saturday. Today, kids have infinite content available 24/7. They can watch anything whenever they want. Sounds better, right? Wrong. There's no event, no anticipation, no shared experience. Kids don't even watch the same shows anymore. Saturday morning cartoons taught us patience, delayed gratification, community. Today's kids will never experience that. And that's sad. Number 12. Arcades were real social experiences. Before PlayStation and Xbox, we had arcades, and they were incredible. You'd go to the arcade with a pocket full of quarters. You'd play Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, Street Fighter, Galaga, Mortal Kombat. You'd watch other players, learn their techniques, challenge them. It was social. You talked to people, you made friends, you competed face to face. You learned sportsmanship, how to win gracefully, how to lose with dignity. Today, kids play Fortnite alone in their bedrooms, yelling at strangers on headsets. Sure, it's technically multiplayer, but it's isolated. No one's actually there. No human connection, no real competition. And when you lose online, you can rage quit, throw your controller, blame lag. At the arcade, you lost, you shook hands, you put in another quarter. Number 11. Music was objectively better. I know what you're thinking. Every generation thinks their music was the best. But the 80s, it's not opinion, it's fact. Prince, Michael Jackson, Madonna, Bruce Springsteen, Whitney Houston, U2, The Police, Van Halen, Journey, Bon Jovi, Def Leppard. And that's just mainstream. We also had thrash metal, Metallica, new wave, Depeche Mode, hip-hop's birth, Run DMC, alternative, REM, hard rock, everything. This is what made it real. Artists wrote their own music, played their own instruments. No auto-tune, no computer-generated beats. Talent. An album had to be good from start to finish. You bought the cassette or vinyl, you listened to the whole thing. Today, most pop music is written by the same 5 Swedish producers. Auto-tune everywhere. Single-song streaming culture means albums don't matter. And look, there are talented artists today, but the industry was better in the 80s. MTV played music, radio was diverse, artists took risks. Today, it's all algorithm-driven, focus-grouped, safe. Number 10. We actually talked to each other. This one's going to hurt. In the 1980s, if you wanted to talk to someone, you talked to them, in person. At dinner, you talked. At parties, you talked. At school, you talked. No phones at the table, no one checking Instagram mid-conversation, no texting the person sitting next to you. We had full conversations, eye contact, body language, connection. And here's what's important. We developed social skills. We learned how to read people, how to have difficult conversations, how to be present. Today, families sit at dinner on their phones. Friends hang out but scroll Instagram. Couples text instead of talking. You're more networked, not connected. Connection requires presence, attention, actual human interaction. We've lost the ability to just be with people without distraction. And don't say I'm being old man yells at cloud. You know I'm right. Put your phone down and look at people. We did it in the 80s, and we were better for it. Number 9. Malls were amazing social spaces. The mall in the 1980s was the place. It wasn't just shopping, it was where life happened. You'd go to the mall to hang out, meet friends, see people, walk around for hours. Sam Goody for music, Walden Books for books, the arcade, the food court, Orange Julius, Sbarro, multiple movie theaters. The mall was safe, climate-controlled, and full of people. Parents dropped teenagers off for the afternoon. It was freedom within boundaries. And the social aspect, you'd run into people you knew, make new friends, people watch. It was a community gathering space. Today, malls are dying or dead. Amazon killed them. People shop online in isolation. But it's more convenient, sure, and more lonely. We've traded community spaces for efficiency, and we've lost something important. Teenagers today don't have a place. They're home, online, isolated.
They're home, online, isolated.
Number 8. We actually had privacy. This is huge. In the 1980s, your life wasn't recorded. Not every moment was photographed. No one tracked your location. No one monitored your conversations. No corporations collected data on everything you did. You could just live. Today, everything is recorded. Your phone tracks everywhere you go. Companies sell your data. Say something dumb at a party? It's on TikTok. The whole world sees. Make a mistake as a teenager? It follows you into adulthood. College admissions see it. Employers see it. And people voluntarily give up privacy. Instagram, TikTok, sharing every moment. In the 80s, we lived our lives. We didn't perform our lives. Your life wasn't content. It was just life. Number 7. TV was actually better. Here's why. Shows had to be good to survive. Only the best made it. Quality over quantity. Cheers, The Cosby Show, Miami Vice, The A-Team, Knight Rider, Magnum P.I., The Wonder Years, Moonlighting. These shows brought families together. Thursday night TV was an event. Everyone watched. Everyone talked about it the next day. And because there were only a few channels, shows had to appeal to everyone. They were designed for mass appeal, not niche algorithms. Today, we have 500 streaming services, unlimited content, and it's exhausting. And because everything is algorithm-driven, we all watch different things. There's no shared culture. Nobody watches the same show anymore. We're all in our own content bubbles. 80s TV created community. Today's streaming creates isolation. Number 6. We actually went outside. Kids in the 1980s lived outside. All day, every day. You'd leave the house after breakfast. You wouldn't come home until dinner. Your parents had no idea where you were. And that was normal. You played outside, rode bikes, explored, built forts. You learned independence, problem solving, social skills, physical activity. Today, kids stay inside on screens. Parents track them with apps. Everyone's scheduled. And we're raising a generation with less independence, less resilience, more anxiety. Actually, it's safer now than it was in the 80s. Crime is down. We're just more scared. 80s kids had freedom, and that freedom made us better. Today's kids are safer. Are they happier? I'd take 80s freedom over today's bubble-wrapped childhood any day. Number 5. In the 1980s, the phone was at home, on the wall, with a cord. If you weren't home, people couldn't reach you. And that was good. You could go out and be unreachable. No one expected instant responses. No one panicked if you didn't answer. Today, everyone's reachable 24/7. You're expected to respond immediately. Text back within minutes or people think you're mad at them. You can't just be anymore. You're always available, always on call. And it's exhausting. Relationships were better when phones stayed home. You valued in-person time more. You were present. 80's phones were better because they let us actually live. Number 4, we had patience, and it made everything better. You wanted to listen to a song? You waited by the radio with your finger on the record button. You earned that mixtape. You took photos? You waited a week to get them developed. And when you saw them, it was exciting. You wanted to watch a movie? You drove to Blockbuster, hoping they had it. Sometimes they didn't. You picked something else. Everything required effort, waiting, and it made you appreciate things more. Today, everything is instant. Any song, right now. Any movie, right now. Any information, right now. Sounds better, right? But instant gratification has made us impatient, entitled. We can't wait for anything. Amazon delivery is too slow? We get angry. Wi-Fi buffers for 3 seconds? Rage. We've lost the ability to wait, to anticipate, to appreciate. 80's patience taught us gratitude. Today's instant everything teaches us nothing. Number 3, music stores were incredible. Tower Records, Sam Goody, The Wall, local record stores. In the 1980s, buying music was an experience. You go to the store, browse, talk to employees who actually knew music, discover new bands, buy an album based on cover art alone. You'd bring it home, read the liner notes, listen to the whole album. It was an event. Music felt valuable. You invested in it, time and money. So you listened more carefully. You connected more deeply. Today, Spotify algorithm. You have access to everything, and it all feels like nothing. Music is disposable. You skip songs after 10 seconds. You never listen to full albums. You don't even know the artist's name half the time. We traded depth for breadth, and we lost something. Music stores made music special. Streaming made it background noise. Number 2, no social media equals better mental health. This is the big one. In the 1980s, you didn't compare yourself to everyone. You didn't see everyone's highlight reel. You lived your life. You didn't know what your ex was doing. You didn't see everyone's vacation photos. You didn't count likes. Self-esteem came from real achievements, real relationships, real experiences. Not from follower counts, not from going viral, not from performing your life for strangers. Today, kids compare themselves to filtered, fake, curated lives. They feel inadequate, unpopular, left out. Adults aren't immune. We're all performing, competing, anxious. And for what? Likes? Validation from strangers. In the 80s, we weren't competing with the world, just with ourselves. And we were happier. Mental health was better. Self-esteem was better. Life was better. No social media was the best thing about the 80s. Number 1, we had real, unbreakable friendships. And here's the biggest one, the thing we lost that matters most. In the 1980s, friendships were real, deep, permanent. You couldn't just text, you had to show up, physically be there, make effort. You spent hours together, doing nothing, just being together. You had real conversations. You knew people deeply, not their curated online persona, the real them. And because you put in effort, those friendships lasted. they meant something. Today, you have 500 Facebook friends, and you're lonely. You text daily, but never actually see each other. You like their posts, but don't know what's really happening in their life. Friendships are shallow, transactional, digital. We've traded depth for convenience, and we're more connected than ever, and more lonely than ever. 80s friendships were work. You had to show up, be present, be real. And that work created bonds that lasted. Today's friendships are easy. I'd take one 80s friendship over 500 Facebook friends any day. And I think deep down, you would too. Look, I'm not saying everything about today is bad. Technology has its benefits. But we lost something. Privacy, patience, presence, connection. And I think we need to admit it. And remember, we're reliving the good old days, one memory at a time. Now go call a friend. Actually call them, not text. I dare you.